First off, I guess I want to say I ain't no punk. And that may be the wrong approach to take for this video, but I do want to start by saying that, and all the women looking at this video or looking at the title, like, what do you mean? But I ain't a punk. It took me a minute to kind of figure out my mood. Gotta kind of settle into this because for some reason something's kind of heavy on my heart today. I don't know what it is yet, but give me a minute. Hopefully I'll get to that point within this video if it's related to this video. But if not, hello everyone. Happy Friday. I know you guys probably had an amazing Thanksgiving. I hope you did. I hope you were able to kind of take on that new version of what Thanksgiving was supposed to be, and that for me at least is identifying my purpose, being thankful for the work I have done in order to reconstruct this new world we live in, and really just be there with my family and definitely have some laughs. Outside of that, y'all, we are finishing up November. I am super proud of everyone. I'm super happy to have taken on this task with y'all. I apologize. Every time I put my feet on this thing, it turns on. Like, what did I expect it to do? Stay off? I'm super grateful. I know I say that a lot. I know every video, it seems like I go on some rant about how thankful I am of you guys. But I am. And I guess my next target for this channel will really be changed in this next year. I have already started to reorganize my channel if anyone has paid attention to it. We will probably have a new intro. We will probably have new brand colors just to really kind of make everything cohesive. And I'm super excited about that. I know I usually do my updates in the end, but I figured why not? All right, so let's just jump right into this topic. So today's topic is femininity, or is it feminism? It's gonna be right there. For love, right? So this is the energy of the woman for love, basically. And as you guys have been able to track in my previous videos, I have been really trying to understand my feminine side. And with that being said, it has been a very long journey. So just to recap, I took a mini session, 2-day session with Chanel, the life coach. She was on as one of my SheEOs the very beginning of that segment. And she was talking about femininity and basically being involved in relationships. And for me, I did take a lot out of it. Me and my amazing accountability partner, Octavia, we got into it, and that's something we've been trying to attack ever since. And I can say that it's probably one of the main things that I personally have been able to stick with and really implement within my marriage and identify the different ways that I need to change. And not just my marriage, even with people, right? And that's something we'll talk about as well on how it varies from relationship type to relationship type. So, like I started this video by saying, I ain't no punk. That is going to come back and we are going to discuss it because everything ties in. And like I said, everything I do is out of alignment because of something I may be experiencing. So when we discuss this topic, we will definitely touch on that, as well as, like I said, the different aspects of being a woman or being very feminine within those different love types. But for the most part, guys, you know, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. I will be jotting down different ideas as we go. I will make sure I share different techniques and solutions with you all. But please remember, when we are here, we are raw and we are reflective. We are raw by being our most authentic selves and our most original design. I know I've been wrapping my hair for quite some time in these videos, but that's my most raw self. Right now, I'm trying to protect my crown and make sure she is healthy, y'all. So that's my raw version right now. I'm trying to get back out in this world without my stereotypes or without my social expectations, meaning my makeup, meaning my nails, but I've cut them down a lot. Well, a lot for me. And just kind of being basic, trying to be more natural, trying to enjoy my true beauty instead of trying to enhance or alter. right? So that is what we do when we are raw. We are our most original selves. All right. Now, when we're reflective, that goes back to everything we talk about on this channel, right? We are intentionally aligning ourselves with the lessons we are supposed to be engaging in. So we are completely open about who we are, where we want to go. We are embodying the purpose and the lessons that come with it by being completely honest with ourselves on who we are, where we're trying to go, and how we're going to get there. All right, so if you are new, that's who we are. We are raw and reflective. I am Jasa. I'm not sure if I said that in my intro, but this is just Jasa. And this is another amazing Friday where we are going to jump in a topic. And I hope to give you some knowledge or give you some insight into my experiences. But please make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, like, share, and comment on this video. It really helps us get some boosts and make sure everyone is able to at least experience a video with me. Obviously, if you're going to share it, please pick a good video. Y'all know my good days and you know my bad days. Don't do me like that. But once again, please make sure you comment, share some of your insights, share some of your experiences. If you're feeling up to it, I will be doing more next year. I'll just leave it at that because you already know I'll start another rant, but this is just the intro. So please stay after our lovely song that I've put together that will be changed next year. And come back. Let's do this. Let's jump into this topic. I am the beauty with the gap. Okay, so I had to fix that light because I was looking a little fuzzy. Anyway, hi, it's my face. Let's jump in. Okay, so I was able to jot down what I was thinking because you know how I get, I will forget. But wow, lost my feeling for a minute. All right, so I ain't no punk. We gonna start there. When you hear the word feminism or feminist, uh, I believe they're two different things. So I'm not a feminist. I am learning through experiences, through other people's wisdom, how to be embody my feminism. Okay, I am not a feminist. So I did my check. It is feminism for love, and I knew what I was doing, y'all. But I be over here sometimes, right? So we are practicing our feminism within different types of relationships. And when you hear this word, you think of, or even if you just research the word, right? You think weak. You think that you're being submissive. You think that it is a version of a woman that is less than to a certain extent, right? Hold that. Um, we aren't saying, we meaning the royal we, the broad spectrum we, are not saying that you have to practice those behaviors with the mindset that you are less than the person you are trying to be feminine, feminine with. Okay. For example, like I said, we're going to be discussing it with your partners, your spouse, whoever that is, your friends and family, and then I'm also going to touch on in the public. Okay. So keep that saying in your head, and at the end, we're going to connect it all together and how we are practicing not being a punk, but also embracing your feminine energy. Okay? All right. I laid the ground rules. So, love with your partner or spouse. It is tedious. It is a tedious game. And I say this because for a woman and man situation, right? That's what I know. So please don't take it personal. This is just how I can speak. So we'll change it. Masculine and feminine energies. There can only be one of each in a relationship. That is something that Chanel has taught me and something I have been able to see within my relationship, y'all. I cannot give credit to myself because I had to be taught this. Growing up in my family, and something that me and Octavia have been able to address is that we were raised by very strong women. And there's nothing wrong with this until you realize that while they're changing and learning how to adapt to the behaviors that they were taught and the behaviors that they have practiced for so long, you start to look in yourself and see that, holy shit, I'm still practicing those same toxic behaviors that are pushing people away, that are very hard to break, that are very hard to acknowledge or want to change because it's so comfortable. And the other behavior that is more submissive, more calm, more composed is foreign. So, identifying being your childhood behaviors, your childhood examples, really does play a part in how you are able to go down this path, right? So, like I said, I did not take on this just by um, coincidence. You know, this is something that I had to be taught and that I am learning to pull from my experiences, right? I am 25, about to be 26, y'all. So, this is coming from my example, my experience. Um, like I said, there can only be one of each in a relationship. And for me, I am the feminine energy. My husband is the masculine energy. So when we first got together, y'all, masculine, we were clashing. And Chanel used this example as the two head lions. It doesn't work. You know, it really doesn't. And something that I remember picturing when I was in this session was how I've had so many moments with my husband, even up until that point where I was trying to be masculine, and I had to figure out why. Okay. For me, it wasn't just because I wanted to embody this this masculine energy and that I just wanted to be top dog. No, a lot of it for me was being afraid, not knowing how to let someone else take the lead, not wanting to follow blindly. And me, I'm a little controlling. I am. I like to have control, and not necessarily in the sense of a narcissist, but because I know what I like. I have my own experiences, and I am big on not wanting to relearn the same lesson because I'm allowing someone else to lead. I don't want to do that. If I already know I've taken on that lesson, I know the outcome. I we ain't gonna do the same thing. I'm coming in, and I have to learn to allow my husband to lead. I hate when the paper's in front of me because I just want to look at it. um, and that is part of my feminine energy. I had to learn how to allow my husband to lead. And although it was something that I knew I needed to do, it was very hard. And it goes back to my last video of understanding the different energies and understanding your partner in general. You really have to communicate, right? So, like I said, although it's not an excuse, it has no bearing within my marriage because it's something that happened long before him. But how I was raised really does play a part in how I move forward with my husband and how I'm able to communicate with him. Hey, I understand how this may make you feel. I understand how it is going to be a task within our marriage to adjust and really uh, change for the better within both of us. But this is my background. These are the examples I've had. This is something that I have seen now that I know I want to change and I'm working on. So all you're doing is asking your partner to be patient, right? This could be very difficult as well for someone that may be experiencing or has experienced it for a long time. Me and my husband, we weren't together as long as others in the beginning before we got married, meaning, but he had experienced me and my masculine behavior for a very long time before we got married and then into our marriage. Because, like I said, I didn't start to change it until I had the session with Chanel, which I will pull the dates and make sure I can put it in our video, obviously, but as a reference. But that's a long period of time, right? Where you're experiencing someone's behavior and they don't realize it's happening. So as me and my husband have moved forward and have gone through this progress, I've been able to pull out different lessons and point them out to him and tell him, like, this is what I've learned, and share those experiences with him. And he's been able to kind of fact check me in a sense and say, yeah, you used to do this. Oh yeah, you did do this really heavy, and I definitely see the change. You know, he shares that with me, and it does make you feel good because you know, even God forbid, even if it doesn't work out for you and that person, do not ever in your life do something or alter yourself for one specific person. And this may be wrong for some people, do it how you want. But for me, and what I mean by that is my husband can point out something that he is experiencing with me, right? His experience is what draws my attention to something I need to work on. However, I'm not changing myself because he said something. I need to change myself because it is detrimental to me. Just because he's the one bringing it to me, it does not mean that someone else maybe isn't experiencing it or has not experienced it, or maybe it will, bring me some joy and progress within my life. And I can say that in the past, I've even shared this with my husband, is I was always changing and altering myself in order to appease someone else's frustrations or influence. Ooh, I cannot word today because that word isn't even forming in my head. Those moments that weren't uh, inconvenient moments. Oh, y'all. Those inconvenient moments for other people, thinking that it was something I was doing wrong. And don't get me wrong, there were moments where I'm like, ooh, okay, girl, you need to fix that because that's not okay. However, a lot of it was just because it wasn't convenient for that person. So here I am, I've changed so much. I don't know who I am. And I know I've talked about this in another video, y'all, but it's crazy how I can connect these experiences. So I say that to say, once again, you need to evaluate and understand why you're making that change or why that change is necessary for you before you make that full out transition, because it is important. You really do need to make sure that it is for you and can benefit you as a person. Now, that goes back to us being reflective. You do not make the choice and just say, oh no, I don't need it. Girl, you better look inside you. Boy, you better look inside you. Do you need it? Be real with yourself, okay? That is very important, right? So we are practicing that within our feminine forms of love. I guess I didn't need my notebook, y'all. And compromising. Okay, so when I am practicing my feminine energy with my relationship, with my partner or spouse, it requires a lot of compromise. And for a woman, something else I'm learning is we have a lot of big ideas. We have a lot of control. We have a lot of knowledge and wisdom. That is not saying your partner does not, but it is saying that there are a lot of things that we had to do before the man, such as growing up. So we have different experiences, and it may seem like you were always taking the back seat to your ideas or your advice or your suggestions. Because of that, you're trying to balance allowing him to lead, but also your internal compass, your North Star, is telling you, go this way, do it this way. And you have to allow that person to do their part and learn their way and learn how you can be a help to that relationship. So it is a lot of compromise. It requires you to say, okay, you are not ready to take on this full aspect of what I am telling you. Let's meet in the middle. I know that you're comfortable with doing this. You want to do this. Let's meet in the middle. Let's combine and let's do that. Because not only does it keep you from reverting back to your masculine mindset of battling and pushing the issue and trying to get your point across and trying to be who you want the relationship to be. Because it's not just you. It requires you to compromise. It requires you to break down the situation enough in order to communicate with that person and get two ideas to be one for your one marriage or a relationship or partnership. That is what that is. And it, like I said, it ties together with allowing that person to lead. Okay, so those are my two right now within relationships and partnerships. So we need to allow that person to lead. Whoever's the masculine energy, you need to lead. Let that person lead, right? How do we combat that and not feeling like a punk? You need to be able to compromise. Yes, you have a bunch of knowledge I'm sure you want to share and you want to put in the relationship and you think it's going to be better. It's not going to work. You can't be masculine everywhere. And that's going to take me to my next part. Yes, it's going to take me to my next part, right? You need to be able to know what to offer, when to offer, and that is what goes into the compromising, right? So my next part is going to be privacy. All right, so this is going to be kind of a two-parter because it ties into what I just said, but it also doesn't. So to start with this privacy, I want to say your strengths can be applied in different places. Okay? So for me, in my marriage, I have been married before. I have lived on my own before. I have been around kids pretty much my entire life. I've helped do a lot of things with kids. So my knowledge in the home life, maintaining a home, being a woman, being feminine energy all the time, I am knowledgeable. My husband, oh, my husband is knowledgeable in how to build the home, how to secure it, how to provide for it. Meaning, literally, he is putting together this home for us, for me to manage. Those are our jobs. And that is where he is good at, what he is good at. So, that is where you have to understand what type of compromise you're giving, right? I say that to say, when you are doing this, when you are executing your task, when you are distributing the responsibilities, keep that shit to yourself. As a woman, I am good for gossiping, getting advice from other people, sharing my knowledge, sharing my experiences, talking too damn much. Keep it to yourself. A woman that opens her mouth to everyone is a woman without class. In my book. That is my book. I talk too much. And it's not because I want everyone in my business, because boom, let me give you my line. If you are not a part of my circle, you don't need to know anything about me. And I get very frustrated when my husband chooses his friends to talk to, because in my mind, why are you sharing it with outsiders? But for him, that's his circle, right? Those are his people he goes to. But it's not classy. You don't need to tell everybody your business. You don't need to open your mouth, especially about your home life, to people that don't need it. You don't. And how can I say this? Because I was once that person. I am working on it. I'm much better at it. However, it is something I am learning to do. So I want to make sure I share with you. It is not a feminine thing to do. Women that have understood their purpose, understand their alignment, I have noticed don't talk that much. And I actually came across a video of a woman kind of giving a strategy for her marriage, and something she said, the moment you stop talking is the moment he listens. And I felt that. I felt it when I heard it. I understand it now. I don't have to always talk. I don't always have to say something. I don't always have to share a perspective. I don't always have to gain understanding. It's okay to not understand. And that's something my husband taught me. It's okay to not understand. You want to be heard. I want to be heard. As long as we heard each other, we comprehend what was said. Let's move on. Right? Comprehending and understanding are two different things. In my mind, comprehending is you just understand the basis of what that conversation consisted of, meaning this was the issue, this is the solution, this is how we move on. Right? Understanding requires emotion, requires you to empathize with that person, requires you to also comprehend what was said and want to figure out what you did specifically in order to cause that issue. I don't need you to do all that. My husband doesn't need me to do all that. All he wants to do is be heard. Be heard, and for us as a team to apply what we just discussed, right? As women, we are very emotional, and we stand on that all the time, thinking that, oh yeah, I'm emotional, so I'm allowed to do what I want. I'm allowed to say how I want it. I'm allowed to just, have my experience through my emotions. You are emotional in the sense of how you process things. And this is something else that I think I've explained in another video, but I know I explained to my husband. My emotions play a huge part in how I make decisions, how I move. However, it does not mean that it's always applied correctly, meaning my privacy. I tell stories in my emotional state. That is not good. You should not be sharing your information if you're going to do it in an emotional state. You need to be rational. You need to tap into your more logical masculine side. And if you're going to get advice, if you're going to go share that perspective, get it from a logical, sorry y'all, morning nosies. Get it from a logical state in order to gain that experience that you need or knowledge that you need without it being kind of altered or the wrong perspective because you said it at an emotional state. I have learned that with my husband, when we're having disagreements or arguments. Let's just be real. When we're arguing and I'm trying to get him to listen to me in my emotional state, not only did I forget the event that caused that emotional state, I'm not explaining myself because I'm too emotional. So now we are calm and he's asking me what happened, what caused us to get to this point. Crickets. I don't remember. I don't remember. I just know that's how it made me feel. I know that in that moment, there was something I needed to address internally, which is my emotions, and it came out in our verbal disagreements. So I can't say that that is a lesson that is constantly changing for me, because I remember now in another video, I did say that that's how we process events, and making sure the man understood that I am identifying the event by how it made me feel. That's not wrong. That is still something that does happen. I can say how it made me feel, but I can't remember what happened. That is true. However, it is also my responsibility to hold on to the logic, hold on to the realistic mindset in order to communicate with my husband, who is logical and needs that stable situation in order to adjust for our relationship. You can be who you are all day long, but it goes back to my video last Friday. You need to understand your partner in order to adjust and communicate effectively. Drop the ball. We're not done though. I have 2 more sections with so much knowledge. So this may be the longest video I've ever done. Right? Roll with me. All right. Our next one is composure, women. Female empowerment. We need to be composed. Yes, I'm feeling myself today. I'm feeling real pumped. We have to remain composed. The last example I remember, the most vivid from the sessions with Chanel, was in the heat of the moment when everything is going wrong. The woman that embodies her feminine energy is capable of remaining composed when everything around her is in chaos. I ain't that person. That's how I knew, girl, you need to work on yourself. And I can give you an example, right? So, was it last year? Maybe 2 years ago. Last year, I had my first ever event for my book. I did a book signing. And I had invited so many people. So many people. In my head, I knew, oh, y'all aren't coming. But when it happened and I saw that everyone that I had invited didn't show up, I completely ignored the people that supported me, came all this way, loved on me, showed me amazing support, and just was really there for me because I was so fixated on what went wrong. Not only was I not composed, I isolated the people that were there for me the most. And that example stuck with me when she said that, because I realized if I was composed, I wouldn't have been able to see the beauty in what my moment, right? Sitting in my moment. I have a bad habit of not enjoying my moment. And I believed if I had that experience of remaining composed because of my feminine energy, it would have been a completely different night. And that's my example. Okay, so when I'm thinking about my marriage, remaining composed goes back to my comment of remaining quiet. I don't have to spaz to get my point across. I don't have to yell. I don't have to scream. I don't have to have some big emotional statement. I can have that privately. But the moment I step in front of my masculine energy husband, I have to have some sense of composure. Not only because it escalates a situation, but because it shows a sense of respect for him and myself. I am a woman. I am a lady. I will not be heard or seen by being a man. I can come up to my husband and let him know, you did this. This bothered me. I would like it to change. Without, you dirty motherfucker, why in the hell would you do that to me? I don't think that was right. You need to change today. This shit isn't cool. And go blah, blah, blah at the mouth. He checked out. My husband has left the building the moment that starts. And I didn't notice because I was so stuck in my phase, my moment where I'm trying to get out all of these crazy emotions. I should have done that before I stepped in that room. right? Again, sticking with my privacy, my privacy tactic. This last time me and my husband got into it, I decided to take that time to go drive. Come home, calm down, calm down, calm down. So the moment I stepped in front of my husband, I was in a state of exactly what I wanted to say. I was calm enough to get through most of the argument. Once again, disclaimer, we are not perfect. We are still working. This is a journey that will continue to extend. But by the time I got through most of the argument or discussion at this point, I was able to say what I was thinking. Did it go left? Yes, because I am a work in progress. I am not perfect. But it was something that I was able to do because I knew composure, because I knew I needed to calm down enough in order to be heard, right? So these are what I would say goes into feminism within your relationships with your partner or spouse, okay? I know, long drawn out section. I may break this up, but I might not. Y'all ain't got nothing else to do. Let's get into it. Okay. So our next one is feminism for friends and family. Excuse me, y'all. You already know I don't like reading off paper, but when it's good, it's good. Okay. Oh, I forgot one. No, I can put it in this one. Yeah. So friends and family. Your partner is not the same. It should not be treated the same. I believe that with your partner and your love interest, your spouse, you should have a certain level of vulnerability to where you can open up to them completely. You don't have to worry about if you're being too emotional for that person. If that person is your person, you can be emotional, you can be vulnerable. It's how you emote that is the issue. My husband would much rather me cry and explain how I feel than yell and say it's because I'm emotional. Okay, so hold on to that. That is something I can say has been very important for us. Lastly, like I said, love and friendships. Love with your friendships and family by being your feminine, by being your feminine self. You are going to have boundaries. You're going to stand on what you say. You are going to communicate, and you're going to be yourself. It's right here on this page. All right, so when we are engaging with our friends and family, we have to set boundaries. I have 2 videos. Yes, 2 videos on boundaries. Go find them. Yep, boundaries. And that is important as a woman. And when you are embracing that feminine energy, you are not meant to go to battle. And I have learned this with my husband. My husband always says it's a man thing, you won't understand. You're damn right, because I'm not about to be fighting everybody because you said something out of turn. For what? I'm exhausted. No. No, I'm not gonna do it. Having boundaries within those relationships is where, although you should still have boundaries with your relationships, your friend, your spouse and partner, that is necessary. However, it's not the biggest one, at least that I've learned, when you're practicing that energy within your marriages, your relationships. It comes more important with your friends and family because you are trying to maintain your sense of self. Okay, so with your friends and family, it seems that you get put in different situations that are more testing, that require you to maintain yourself, that require you to be more composed, which in turn, you need to have boundaries. You need to know what your limits are. You need to know what your triggers are, because although they're your friends and family, they are going to test you in a way that requires you to come back together. Okay? Boundaries. The next one's going to be standing strong. Standing strong on what, Jasa? Standing strong on your mother-loving boundaries. Stand strong on that. There is going to be, like I said, times where you are tested, where you are pushed, and it's going to require you to stand on those boundaries. How are you going to do that if you don't know what they are? If you don't know how to identify your triggers, if you don't know how to identify when you have been pushed to your limits? That is very important when it comes to your friends and family. I know I'm running through this one. The last 2 are really just examples that I've experienced. They're not necessarily the biggest of this topic, but they are also important. If you would like me to go in more detail, sidebar, please just put it in the comment section. I don't mind doing that in another video, but for the sake of this, I do want to just kind of give you a comparison when discussing your relationship with your partner and spouse as opposed to family, friends, and the public. Okay, so the last one is going to be, I lied, communicating. You need to communicate what you expect from that person and that family member, that friend. It is important, once again, like I said, everything ties together for me. You're setting your boundaries. You need to know what they are, what your triggers are, how you're going to keep your sense of self. Like I said, that's very important. Keep your sense of self. Then you need to stand on that. Don't waver because someone made you feel uncomfortable because it's inconvenient for them. We do not change for someone's inconvenience. We change because it's necessary for us. And if that change came from a boundary you set or a trigger you identified, them. Okay? Period. Next, we're going to communicate that. We need to make sure we're communicating exactly what we mean and how we need that to be executed, right? If you don't like pickles on your sandwich, or you like pickles to the left and not to the right, and someone is offering to make your plate, you need to make sure you say, hey, I'm real picky. I know it might be an inconvenience for you, but do you mind, since you're making my plate, put my pickles to the left and not the right, or whatever I said? Why? That is your boundary. You know that's something you like. That person is trying to do something for you, so you need to stand on your own and make sure that they know, if you're going to continue doing this for me, this is where I stand on that. And also, you're letting them know why and what you expect. Damn, I did that. I ain't gonna lie. That was a good example. All right. So the last one is be yourself. Be yourself. You are allowed to be yourself. You are allowed to be feminine by yourself. You're able to do that. Be yourself. Why is it that as women we constantly change? Why is the feminine energy always thinking that we have to change for someone else? Just because the masculine energy is in the room or you're faced with the masculine energy, you can be yourself. Don't let that masculine energy dominate you and make you feel small. You are light. Continue to be yourself. It's the way we are ourselves that separates masculine and feminine. That masculine can be over here rah-rah doing all this big flashy stuff, but that light stands right there, lighting up the entire room because you are composed. You are yourself. You are a glow. And that is what it takes to be yourself. You don't need to do all these crazy things and jump through hoops in order to maintain your sense of self. That is the beauty of being that feminine energy. That masculine energy always, at least with me and my husband, they don't have the luxury of just being them, being there, right? You can be yourself. Learn who that person is. So when you are in those atmospheres with your friends and family, you are shining a light. Shine your light with your partner and your spouse as well. But like I said, it's a different level. But when you're in those atmospheres with people who are testing, who are trying to learn different ways about themselves, and it's invading your sense of self, you need to stand strong and remain that glow. Remain consistent. Okay, and last one is feminism in the public. We are orderly, we are composed, we are honest, we are strong, and we are focused. Okay, we're orderly. Same thing. You know what you want, you know where you're trying to go, you know how you're going to get there because you planned it out. You accomplish those goals. You set your boundaries. You identified your triggers. You talked to yourself. Yourself said, you know where I'm going. I can't remember where I got that from, but yes, that's what we're doing. We are trying to get to that point, right? We know how to do it. We have our game plan. You remain orderly when you are in this public because someone is always watching. We're composed. Same thing. Somebody at the job pisses you off. You're a lady. You are a feminine energy. You are trying to remain in this sense of state that no one can take you out of character. Remain composed. The best way to slight someone is with joy and composure. Smile and tell that person, thank you, no thank you. Smile and tell that person, you've done me wrong and I see you. Smile and tell that person, I no longer will be working here. Do you understand what I'm saying? You see what I'm doing? That is going to make someone come out of their calm, composed, thinking they have the upper hand. Now they are masculine, belligerent, and losing their damn mind. Remain composed, especially when in the public. We are honest. Feminine energy requires us to be vulnerable. It requires us to know exactly what we expect from people and when they are doing it wrong. When you get into this public again, you have to remain composed when you do it, but be honest with people. That is not a trait that you want to embody in any type of energy. Be honest. Why is it that we feel the need to hide who we are? We are constantly trying to alter in order to appease other people. Why is it that we feel like we need to lie to get out of situations we don't want to be in? We are honest. You get your best version of yourself when you're able to expose that. Completely honest to the public, completely honest about who you are. So when it comes down, the ball drops, or people are being unveiled, you are still that light standing right there, but brighter, right? Let me give you a little bit of imagery. You have a lamp that comes with a shade. You're still bright, you're still glowing, you're still seen. However, the moment that veil is taken off because everyone's being exposed left and right, guess whose light is still there but brighter? Yours, because you were able to show who you are through and through. I've always been a light. I've always been here. I've always been doing what I need to do because I've been honest with myself and honest with you. So you take off my veil, you're not going to get darkness. You're not going to see some magical trick that I've been lying to you about what I am. I've been here. And now you see me even more because I have been myself and I shine while other people were trying to dim my light. Ooh. All right, we're strong. You have to be strong. You have to remain strong. Like, my baby's crying and I have to hurry up and get this done, y'all. But we're going to stay strong because this is hard. It is hard, hard, hard to be who you need to be, to show up every time, to remain in that feminine mindset when everything is pushing you to be masculine, when everything is pushing you to be this crazy person, show your ass, and not allow them to take you away from your purpose, not allow you to take them out of your character, not allow them to show you that your sense of self is wrong. And we're going to stay focused, right? What are you trying to do? We're reflective. Where are you trying to go? How are you trying to get there? Are you being honest with yourself about what it takes to get there, the version of yourself you need to be? Are you being honest? You can do this, right? We're going to stay focused. You have to stay focused on everything we talked about. Every version of relationships that you are in, you need to focus on, and you need to make sure that you are allowing yourself to be the best version of yourself. So, like I said, it's really hard to do this with my babies crying. But like I said, if you are interested in a deeper version of the last two segments with friends and family as well as the public, please let me know. Let me know. Like I said, it was run through. However, this video was mainly about your relationships with your partner and spouse, right? So I hope I was able to give you some type of clarity or insight into where I'm at. Obviously, I'm learning more about my friends and family and the public side of it, but I am getting this relationship side down pat. So I hope that I was able to give you some knowledge. If you are, if you are interested in being a SheEO, the link is down in my description box. I would love to interview new people. I am getting my roster together for 2024. So please make sure you drop a comment, drop in my DMs, use the link. Anything is fine, but please let me know if you are interested. I don't think I have anything crazy going on next month. If you have not RSVP'd, if you are interested in attending, I will be doing my read and talk through my book, #raw. We will be discussing the different topics that I talked about in my book, as well as reading a few pieces. This will be the first time I've ever read my book out loud with people. So I'm super nervous, but excited to share that with you. Like I always say, make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, comment. Let me know what you think, and come back. If you have a friend of a friend of a friend, make sure that they come on, subscribe, and tune in for next Friday's video. That line of videos for December will be out soon. I appreciate you guys. Thank you again. I am Jasa. This is just Jasa, and until next time, bye.